Of all the great chicken dishes in this world, to me this is one of the most criminally underrated of them all. A dish that proves every great Italian-American recipe has a link back to the old country, even if Italy pretends it doesn't. It's built on a technique older than any restaurant that's ever served it. Back in the day in southern Italy, chickens weren't eaten until they were too old to lay eggs. By then, the meat is tough, but peasants had wine and vinegar, byproducts of grapes they were already growing. And they used those things to braise that chicken to make a tough thing succulent and tender. Fast forward to the Northeast where Italian immigrants arrived and suddenly scarcity turned into abundance. They added sausage and they spiked it with cherry peppers. It's a Northeast staple that remains largely unknown, underordered, and underappreciated. This is the legend Chicken Scarpariello. Now, classic to Chicken Scarpariello, they always had beautifully crispy roast potatoes. So we're gonna take a potato here. Now, if you watched the last video, you know I'm kind of banged up now. I went to the doctor. I think it's a compressed nerve in my neck. And so they're pumping me full of steroids. I got an MRI coming up. So I'm gonna be trying to take it easy when I cook. So trying to get good at using my left hand. Now, I remember it being fingerling potatoes. I only seem to find those really at the farmer's market, and it's too early for that, so I'm using russet. I kind of just want to cut them into almost like big pieces like that. Big circles, maybe like an inch thick. And these potatoes would kind of be able to lie kind of on the plate underneath, soaking up all the sauce. Just gonna rinse those in water, drain that water, fill it back up with cold water, season them with salt. Then we're gonna add just a touch of baking soda. That sort of breaks apart the outside of the potato. And we're just going to get them onto the stove, bring it up to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, and we're gonna cook them till they're kind of barely falling apart, and then we're gonna chill them. And that craggly edge that the baking soda creates helps get the potatoes extra crispy. Now I have a few tricks for my version for Chicken Scarpariello. One of them is something you've seen on the channel, and it's my cherry pepper bomba. This is my ace in the hole. You can use this on eggs, you can marinate meats with it, you can use it for sandwiches, make sauces. There's so much to be done. I'm just starting to explore what you could do with something like this that kind of sits in your fridge and acts as like a flavor enhancer to anything. Super easy to make. I made it earlier in the day. You just want to get your smallest pot on the stove, and you just want to cover the bottom in a nice layer with some peeled garlic. This is the only time you'll ever really see me use this pre-peeled garlic from the market. And plus my arm still hurts, so you're gonna see me cheating for a while. Then we just wanna cover it with olive oil, bring it up to a frying temp, and this is my roasted garlic speed run method. Usually this happens real slow, but I'm gonna get it frying and hot fast to start. And what we're looking for is to create some light browning, developing around the garlic. And once we see that, we're gonna move it off the heat, and we're just gonna allow the oil to cool down slowly. That slow cool down is gonna continue to darken and finish cooking the garlic all the way through. So in about half the time, you get a very similar result to low and slow. Into a blender, we're gonna throw in the roasted garlic. We're gonna put in about 3-4 tablespoons of the roasted garlic oil. Then we're gonna add in cherry peppers. You want a good amount in there, and you also wanna add another 3 tablespoons or so of the juice that they're packed in. And then if you want it extra spicy, you can go ahead and add in a tablespoon of Calabrian chilies. In a blender, you're just gonna puree that until smooth, and you should have a paste like this. Powerful flavor enhancer. And since Chicken Scarpariello is a cherry pepper based sauce, it's what gives it that tang. This is gonna be the base in our sauce. Now before we go any further, you guys are aware I'm dealing with a little bit of physical pain, so the body is top of mind. And I plan on taking care of my body the best I can, and one of the ways I do that is with our sponsor today, AG1. AG1 is a daily health drink that combines your multivitamin, pre and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants in one simple green scoop with 5 probiotic strains and more than 75 vitamins and minerals. So probiotics, prebiotics, multivitamins, and it's spring, so I'm trying to have a fresh start on my health. With AG1, I can simplify my health routine with just 1 drink a day to help replenish commonly underconsumed micronutrients and to support my energy levels. Delivering 5 strains of clinically studied probiotics that have been shown to play a role in supporting digestion, immune function, and alleviating occasional bloating. Every morning I just take 1 scoop with about 8 to 12 ounces of cold water, or if I'm traveling, they've got these convenient travel packs, so my health routine never takes a break. And for me, best of all, it just tastes good. And AG1 is flexible and risk-free. You can adjust, update, or cancel your membership anytime. So go to drinkag1.com/notanothercookingshow or scan the QR code on the screen to get an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 and K2 for free in your welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription, which is about a $72 value for free. Thank you to AG1 for sponsoring this video. And now, like I said, abundance, right? So we use chicken thighs and sweet Italian sausage. I'm gonna roll those sausages into meatballs, but first we need to prep the chicken. So we're gonna take our chicken thighs. They're boneless and skinless. And always, you know, these guys, they butcher these things so fast, there's always some nasty bits you kind of want to clean up. You want to feel for any bone left over, and there usually is one. Just look for any hard bits. Once you're cleaned up, then we're just gonna find that little groove where the fat meets, and we're gonna kind of look to create some like nuggets. Nice bite-sized pieces. That's a perfect size. See this? It's a bone. Gotta get it out of there. Then we can take our sausage. We just want to kind of turn the sausage meat into a meatball. Also a great method to just like, if you don't want to make real like beef meatballs with all the stuffing and stuff, you just get sausage and roll them into meatballs and you just got pork meatballs. It's beautiful. So every dish gets a few meatballs, a few nuggets of chicken, some potatoes, some sauce. Beautiful. Now another trick to my dish is I sort of have this idea of eating this as a kid is the chicken almost like velvety, sort of like Chinese takeout. So we're gonna take a cue from what we've learned from Chinese takeout on this channel to velvet this chicken. So first it starts with some salt. Just like velvet chicken, we can kind of handle it roughly, and then a little bit of baking soda. Just a little pinch that we're gonna work in. They will be tender based on how long we cook them, but the velvet is a different texture, like silkiness. And that's sort of what I'm going for. Then I got a little bit of that liquid left over from the cherry peppers. We're gonna add that in. Not too much, we don't want it swimming in it. We just want it kind of soaking up that flavor. You should be picking up the cherry pepper smell in the chicken. Then some cornstarch. Start with like a 1/4 cup and see where we're at. I'm gonna take some of the roasted garlic oil and about 2 tablespoons. Our chicken is now velveted. Our meatballs are rolled. And then we need our bomba, some chicken stock, of course our wine and our vinegar. I like to add a little lemon juice for some freshness at the end. And then of course you need the visual of what this dish, the heart of it is. So I've got some more cherry peppers in there and some more of that liquid that they're stored in. And we're just gonna add that so we have some nice pop of color. Only other thing I like to do is add a little bit of fresh sliced garlic. I want to know in the comments, do you guys even know what this dish is? Have you ever had it? Everyone I talk to never knows about it. Slice it super thin. I like the roasted garlic and the fresh garlic cooked in oil sort of vibe. 2 types of garlic flavor. More flavor, never hurt nobody. Right now, our potatoes should be cooked through. Just gonna drain them gently and then allow them to steam dry. You wanna get all that moisture off. But if you could see all like the kind of craggly edges, the edges around them are kind of falling apart. And then you can see the edges sort of getting white and starchy. As they dry, there's little white bits, so the kind of like loose starch on the potato that gets super crispy. And then as you toss them, that white sort of starts to come out as you're sort of breaking up the edges. And then we can place them on a sheet tray. Allow them to cool, place them in the fridge, let them set, and then we're gonna roast them super crisp. Once those potatoes have fully chilled, we can pull them out and coat them with some of that reserved roasted garlic oil we had from earlier and season them with salt. Toss them up and then throw them into a 450-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. While those potatoes cook, get your widest high-rimmed saute pan out and get it preheated on medium-high heat. Once hot, coat the bottom with some of that garlic oil and then add the sausage. Don't move it. Let it sit there undisturbed for about 2 to 3 minutes or until a crust develops on the first side. Once you see that, flip them, repeat on that other side. And since they are small, we want to sort of cook them hot and fast to prevent them from overcooking. Once browned, remove them from the pan with a slotted spoon to reserve that oil and hold them off to the side. Now you want to turn that heat up a bit, and we're going to try and snugly fit all those little chicken pieces in a single layer on the bottom of the pan. And I don't usually suggest overcrowding a pan, but in this case I'm not worried about overcooking these thighs. can see that first side is brown. We're just gonna flip them, get them back in the oven. After about 4 or 5 minutes, we give them a check and we can see some color developing on that first side. They've browned nicely and we can go ahead and flip them all. You'll see the edges of the pan brown much quicker than the center. We're gonna cook them on that other side, try and get some color on the second side as well. And once we're almost there, we're gonna move some of them off to the side, create a little space, and then we're gonna drop in some of our sliced garlic. We're gonna allow that like 2 minutes or so to soften up and become fragrant. Once the garlic has lightly browned around the edges, we're gonna turn the heat off and we're gonna pour in some white wine and deglaze the pan. Scrape up all those stuck-on bits from the bottom of the pan and allow that wine to reduce by about half. Once it has reduced slightly, we can go ahead and add in a few cups of our chicken stock. Along with that, we're gonna add 2 to 3 tablespoons of our cherry pepper bomba. That's gonna add a lot of spice to it, so you can either add a little or none at all, or just remove the Calabrian chili from the bomba when you're making it. We're also gonna add the cherry peppers, the whole, along with a few tablespoons of white vinegar. Then we're gonna allow that chicken to braise slowly while simmering until there is no resistance felt when it's poked with the thermometer and they're super tender. By now our potatoes should be perfect, crispy and golden brown. We can set those off to the side. And now for the best part. I'm gonna rip off some fresh bread and I'm gonna give it a taste. I'm tasting a sauce that's garlicky, tangy, bright, it's spicy, and it's packed with flavor. To me, it's well seasoned, I don't need more salt, and so we're ready to finish it. To do so, we must toss in some cold knobs of butter and slowly swirl that in until it's blended with the sauce. We like to do that when the heat is off. Then we're gonna finish with some fresh chopped parsley and then a squeeze of lemon juice to finish. Now that sauce looks incredible. It should be clinging to all of the ingredients. It should be mouth-watering just from the look of it, but the aroma should make you drool. This is the craziest, most flavorful chicken dish that most people don't even know about. Now I like to serve it in a bowl the way I remember it being served to me, with some crispy potatoes down at the bottom as a base, then all that chicken piled high on top, along with plenty of sauce. I don't know if you could see, but look how moist everything is. Perfectly cooked, bathing in that spicy vinegar sauce. And then the real move is you take a piece of bread, throw a little sausage, a little chicken in there, some peps, and you got a little sandwich at dinner. It's a dream. This is what life's about, you know? It's zippy, it's got energy, acidity, spice, all punching you in the face with flavor. A masterpiece in my opinion, and you have to try it for yourself. As always, the recipe is gonna be down in the description. Get it out of here, I can't. That's all that I have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.